Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hernanda Ariq Zaki and I am one of the representatives from SMA DIPONEGORO 1, and I would like to debate about the motion of the opposition house, which is about the strategy of pushing for institutional reform to address police abuse and misconduct rather than defunding the police. First of all, police abuses for many reasons, but one of them is due to because the police feels much more safer because they have much more power in physically, due to they have much more gear, they have much more weapon, rather than the suspect that they are trying to arrest or catch. I will explain two main points that of why we should defund police. First of all, the police in the US now looks more of a military rather than the normal police work in the late 70s. Due to the rapid criminalization before in the 70s, the current president at that time, Ronald Reagan, had to make an act, and he made an act of reforming the police department that would help them catch the criminals that have better guns, and this made the police looks more of a military because the police went undergo a military training with the military itself. Due to this, police now looks very like a military rather than the normal police would in the 70s. This is very inconvenient in a situation like peaceful protesting, such as the George Floyd protest in the late May. Right. The police shows a very abusive act, such as using tear gases when the protester doesn't even have a single weapon on them. I understand that most of the police had to use riot gear because of the other riots that happen while these protests happen, such as the riot in some cities in the US that causes fires, that causes death, that causes very big problems, and the police had to use their gear. But this is very inconvenient for all the police that had to deploy there, because it's a peaceful protest. If they don't see any kind of riots, they shouldn't be using those items, right? So defunding the police will really help, because these items shouldn't be in the police hands, right? Next is spend on other important communities. According to Wikipedia, the police in the US has spent 500 billion per year. In every city in the US, they spend 115 billion per year on policing, and that's very different from such much more important communities, such as mental health communities or health communities itself. In the pandemic times like this, they should have spent more on such as the health organization in the US, because most of the people there, most of the doctors and nurses, they are underpaid. They are too underpaid to do all of this stuff, because 5 million people in the US have been infected by the coronavirus, and which is active, right? And the nurses and doctors have to keep an eye on the patients, which is tiring, because 5 million is not a small number. And if the police gets defund and and money went to such as these organizations that will help the pandemic, the pandemic, it will very help the community a lot. It will help the government, it will help the community, and maybe it will help the police itself. I think that's enough from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.